Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Mars Attacks. And this movie it came out in 1996, and it's directed by Tim Burton. And I've never seen this movie before, and it has a big cast like Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, and a whole bunch of others like Jack Black and Danny DeVito. Such a big cast, and lots of actors that I'm familiar with, and Natalie Portman is in it too. Not in a huge role, but she's still there, and I was kind of somewhat torn on this movie. There were a lot of things that I did appreciate about it, and I did like the music that was composed by Danny Elfman, and I like Danny Elfman a lot. He usually composes good music, and this is no exception for me. And I thought the performances were pretty good in this movie as well. I like the cast a lot, and there's some really good moments sprinkled throughout this movie. And this movie was also pretty hilarious at times for me, and I liked the tone of the movie. It's very cheesy, and it does feel like a 90s movie. Like anything that you would expect from a 90s film is pretty much in this movie. Like just a really cheesy tone, really goofy special effects, and just over the top nonsense every now and again. And it does feel like a Tim Burton movie by the end of the day for sure, but man, is this movie cheesy. It's one of the most ridiculous movies you can watch, and I like how this movie concludes. That was kind of funny, but what was really keeping me torn on this movie was that I really just didn't really care for much in the first half of the movie because I felt as though not much was happening, and it wasn't until like the first action scene was over where I started to care somewhat about what was going on, because it was just a bunch of characters saying like, yeah, emotions exist, and there's also too many characters in this movie, I feel, and it got to a point where I was like, you can cut some of these characters out and the movie would be no different. Like, why does it need like 20 characters? I have no idea. And there isn't really a main character for most of the movie. And once you get to the end of the movie, you're like, oh, okay, that was supposed to be, I guess, the main character. But for most of the movie, it doesn't really feel like that at all. And also, the visual effects in this movie did not really hold up at all. You can very clearly tell whenever things are CG, and it's in broad daylight. Also, that doesn't help either. And there's some really bizarre choices made in this movie. But one thing that helped my experience was that it was well shot, and I didn't feel as though things were poorly presented visually for the most part. I thought it looked pretty good. And despite the aliens not looking real, they did feel like a threat in this movie. That was so well established, and the movie did get better as it went along. And also, I feel as though once we get to the end or the climax and all that happens, and the way that it kind of wraps up, I think is pretty hilarious. And I'm not going to say how, because I don't want to spoil anything, but there are some things that I was just laughing out loud too. And my biggest issues with this movie would be that the sound mix is kind of annoying, because it has that really annoying thing where it's really loud in the loud scenes and really quiet in the talking scenes, or not loud scenes, I guess. That was kind of annoying. I had to adjust my volume at points. And for the first half of the movie, I didn't really care about much of anything that was going on, and pretty much all the things that I'm going to remember this movie for is just in the second half. The second half of this movie definitely saves it and makes up for a lot of the movie, but I can't forget about the first half of the movie where, like, not much is happening, and I just feel as though it takes forever for it to get going. But once it gets going, it just never stops, and I'm always with it. And that's about all I have to say about Mars Attacks. It was decent. I liked it overall. It's just that the first half of this movie kind of kills it. The second half saves it. So I'm a bit torn, but I do like this movie overall, and I'll come back to it someday. And it did kind of remind me a little bit of Independence Day. It did come out the same year, for those who didn't know, and I like this movie much better than Independence Day. I actually don't like Independence Day very much, but anyways, I thought this movie was decent, and I would recommend that you check it out. Just be willing to sit through the first half of the movie, because the second half, it does pay off, and it's pretty fun. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Mars Attacks a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Mars Attacks, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Legend. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.